Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, That's Love Scat here. What's going on with you guys today? I've been trying to roll the videos out lately as much as I possibly can. So, before anything, if you guys have been tuning in recently and you guys like the content and you've been messing with the channel, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and go down below, hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot in the long run. And yeah, guys, let's just go ahead and get into it. So, guys, today I'm gonna make a video actually about basically a POV of what it's like owning a ScatPack. And you guys can take it from me because I've owned my ScatPack charger for the past 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So I've had it for a pretty good amount of time at this point. And the reason I'm going ahead and making this video now is because, long behold, as you guys might have guessed, because I've hinted at it a couple times, but at the end of this month, I'm picking up my wide-body Hellcat Red Eye Jailbreak. Brand new. And I'm not going to tell you guys what color it is. I'm not going to tell you guys anything like that. I just want to let you guys know that is what it is. I am going to pick up a Hellcat Jailbreak wide-body. Brand new. No miles on it. Nothing. And you guys are about to see that, and you guys are probably going to like that car a lot. Probably way more than the Scat. And it's probably going to inspire me, I'm not even going to lie, to just make more and more content for you guys whenever I have the Hellcat and it's going to be brand new. Because I basically feel like, you know, I should have started making videos with my Scat when I first got it. Like, it's not new to me anymore. Like, I've had the Scat for 3 years. I'm completely used to it. You know what I'm saying? I think now that I'm basically going to be picking up another car that's going to be brand new, that I'm going to be not used to, it's going to be something, I mean, yeah, it's still a Charger, but everything else is pretty much different. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be something I'm not used to and something I'm not used to having. And I want you guys to basically be there on that whole journey and that whole experience. And I want you guys to just be there and watch along, you know what I'm saying? And just follow along with me. But yeah, guys, so today is going to be the top 5 things that I love and hate about the Scat. And I'm not going to do it in any order and nothing like that. I'm also going to let you guys know just what it's like owning it too. Alright, so number one, first thing that I love about this car, I will say this, and obviously this is a given, the look, right? Like, I just love how they look, and I like how the front end looks on them, I like how the back end looks on them. There's not really an angle on this car that I could say is really bad. So that is number one thing I like. No bad angles on this car, looks good from every angle, and you aren't really going to hear somebody saying, oh, a Charger looks bad. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's number one. Alright, so pretty simple. We'll come into the second thing that I will say is a positive and something that I like about this car. Don't mind that noise you hear in the background. It's always the worst timing for anything in life, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you just got to get over it. So the second thing I'll say that I actually really like about this car is the amount of space that's in it. So I'll say the amount, yeah, that's the second thing. The amount of space that's in it. It's a 4-door. I mean, you can fit 5 people in this car totally comfortably. I mean, I've put 5 people in this car on many occasions, and nobody's ever complained about being uncomfortable or not having enough room or anything like that. And I will say this, I'll throw this out there since we're speaking about the comfortability and the room in the car. I've actually taken this Scat, you guys will probably not believe this, I've drove this ScatPack all the way from St. Louis to South Carolina and back. That was when I first got this car. It went on a pretty long road trip, about 2,500 miles, you know, and it didn't act up, did totally fine. I just got an oil change before I went, and I got an oil change when I got back. And that's the only real expense that I had to pay. So I'll say, yeah, it's also really good for road trips. And yeah, we'll just leave that at number 2, being spacious and it just being comfortable on the inside. So we're going to come into the third thing that I really like about this car. And you guys could probably already imagine this one, and that will be the raw sound of the car. The raw sound of the V8. You know, it's not supercharged, it's not turboed. Just has a raw 6.4 liter V8 in there, and it just sounds amazing. You know what I mean? Just sounds amazing. I'll go ahead and insert a clip now for those of you that don't know what my Scat sounds like. But yeah, that's the third thing that I will go ahead and say about this car is the sound. And the exhaust sounds amazing on these cars. And I'll go ahead with the fourth thing. We'll throw this out there too. Some of you guys might disagree, but I'll say the amount of power it comes with 485 horsepower, you know, around 440, 450 to the wheel. And to be totally honest with you, even though the car weighs, you know, about 4,400 pounds, it really doesn't affect it too much. I've raced a lot of cars in this, and to be totally honest with you, this car has pretty much walked out of every situation. And keep in mind though, I mean, I'm not out here racing people that I know are gonna beat me. Like, I'm obviously doing fair races, you know. I'm not out here racing like supercharged cars and shit like that, which, I mean, I have raced what was it? It was a supercharged Benz, and I actually beat him by like just a little bit. I actually have the video somewhere. It was like a year and a half ago. I wish I still had it. But moral of the story, this car as is a bang for your buck, because you're gonna really pack a lot of punch even if you don't want to do any upgrades to it. I mean, you could do the most minor of minor things to this and be over 500 horsepower, and you're gonna pretty much beat half the stuff on the road. We'll just say that half the stuff, just because, you know, who knows who you're gonna run into when you're on the highway. All right, and I'm gonna come in with the fifth and final thing that is probably just overall the best that I love about this car the most, is the reliability. I'm being totally honest, the reliability. I've never once had to send this car to the shop, and you guys might think that's crazy. There's things I've checked before, you know, to make sure certain things were okay. But, you know, we can get into that later. But for example, I've never had to like send this to the shop because, oh, it wouldn't start, or oh, it was having an issue with this or that or this or that. It's never been in and out of the shop. This car has never actually, it's only had to go to the Dodge dealership one time in its whole life. And that was whenever I actually needed to get a new battery put in the car, because apparently the person before me had like a smaller, different brand battery in there, and it was acting up, and that was the only thing that ever fucked up on this car. But that was not even Dodge's fault. That was because the person that had this car before me, because as you guys know, there was one owner on this car before me. The person that had it before me must have, you know, I don't know, put the wrong battery in or something. But that's what I'll say for the fifth and final thing, is that this car is just super reliable, and it's never left me stranded anywhere. Like I said, I've drove this car literally across the country and back, and I live in Missouri. I mean, it's not fully across the country, but that's halfway across the country. Like, I've drove from here to South Carolina and back, and never had an issue with it. Had a great time down there. Still was doing pulls down there. Still was just having a good time on the strip, and never left me stranded, like I said. So that's gonna be the fifth thing, is, like I said, the reliability about this car, because you're not gonna have an issue with that with these. I don't know, people online, they're just haters if they say these have problems, because they really don't. But yeah, that's gonna be the fifth and final thing that I like about this car. Now let's go ahead and let's get into the things that I dislike about the car. All right, so now we're gonna get into, I guess you could say there's things I dislike about it. I mean, it's kind of what comes with the car, but we'll go ahead and start off and make it easy. One thing, I'll probably go ahead and say the first thing would obviously be the gas mileage. I mean, gas mileage isn't the best in these cars. You probably get like 13, 14 miles a gallon, or maybe a little bit more. I really don't know. I mean, maybe a little bit more. I don't really pay attention to that, because I mean, I don't really think it's totally correct, especially whenever, you know, you're driving in it, you're hitting it, hearing it, you know, every tunnel you see you're hitting it, always making noise in it. I mean, you're burning gas pretty quick. But that's just one thing I'll say, is gas. One, you got to buy premium for them, and two, it's running the most expensive gas the fastest. So yeah, you're pretty much filling up like every other day on premium. But yeah, that's number one. All right, guys, this is gonna be the second reason that I guess you could say I don't like this car, or you could say second thing I don't like about this car. And this is pretty much a given with it being a Charger. So I mean, it might sound dumb, but the fact that Chargers and Challengers, I mean, really, they're just not the best cars for really, like, I mean, I can't really speak on it, because I've seen some people whip these down back roads. I mean, I've whipped mine down back roads a little bit. Like, they just don't handle the best on windy roads, or like, let's say it's a downhill road and it's windy. I mean, you're pretty much gonna be riding your brakes the whole time, because the car is just so heavy. I mean, you just can't take turns crazy fast in this car. That's one thing I would, well, that's, like I said, the second thing I would say is you can't take turns too fast in this car. I mean, it's really a straight line speed car, and more of a burnout and donut machine. I mean, you guys could probably already imagine that though, with all the videos you see of the Scats and everything. But But yeah, I'll just leave that at number 2.